Hey guys, happy April. My name's Callie, and today I'm going to be going through my April TBR. So I have so many books for my April TBR because I've been reading a lot of series, and I'm still trying to get ready for Apollycon. So I've got a couple of those in here, and I'm just gonna jump right into it. As always, I start off my month with a reread of a series that I haven't finished yet. And this month it is the Girls of Paper and Fire trilogy. So I'm currently rereading book one. I have like 80 pages left. I forgot how dark this is. This is about a world where there are three castes. There's a demon caste, which is the highest. There's mixed, which is half demon, half human, which is a steel. And then there's the fully human, which is the paper caste. And we follow our main character who is chosen to, well, has been forced to become a paper girl to the Demon King, which is essentially a concubine, and it follows her story of discovery. It is also a LGBT story. I really liked books one and two. I just haven't gotten to book three, so I will be finishing this series hopefully this month. Up next, I have Fortuna Sworn by KJ Sutton. I've heard really good things about this series. This follows a girl who's hiding among humans, searching for her brother who went missing, and she ends up having to decide between staying hidden with the humans or going back to the powerful, I think it's Fae. It'd be Fae or Changeling if she's hiding amongst the humans. Back to that court filled with politics. But they might hold answers for her. So I've heard really good things. This is all over all of the book discords that I'm a part of. And I finally got my hands on a copy, so I'm gonna try and read it. I've heard it's up there with like ACOTAR and all of the big fantasy romance series. Up next, I have The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. I know it's April, but this is a Christmas Carol retelling. So essentially, there's this girl, Holly Chase, who lived her life not that great, and in her afterlife she has to be one of the ghosts called in a part of a thing called, I think, the Scrooge Project, something in reference to the original story. And she doesn't want to, but she has no choice, and ends up trying to help, I think, someone that she knows. I've heard really good things about this, and it's such an interesting concept. Christmas Carol is probably one of my favorite Christmas stories. Again, I realize that I'm reading this in April, but I don't care. Next, I have some Apollycon stuff, and that is Down Deep as well as Deep Check by Kimberly and Kincaid. I got this entire series at the last convention, so I am finally working my way through it, and these are the last two. So I'm hoping to get to these beforehand and then get another series by Kimberly Kincaid and just binge it. This is a part of her Station 17 series, which follows a firefighter and some romantic interest, and we're following probably the grumpiest of all the firefighters. He's like ex-military, but he's like the dad to all of the people, so I'm excited to finally get his background and his story. And then Deep Check is, I think, like a 1.5 technically, and this follows the daughter of the police chief captain and a retired hockey player turned firefighter. This one's just a cute little novella, but I've been loving this entire series, so I'm very excited to finish it. Plus, I know these spin off into a medical series and paramedic series. It just keeps going, and I'm here for it. Next, I have another Apollycon one, and that is Not the Witch You Wed by April Asher. This is a magicless witch and a wolf shifter. That's all I know about this, and I am here for it. This just sounds super fun, rom-com. I'm just excited to read a new Apollycon author, to be honest. Up next, I have The Bone Spindle by Leslie Vedder. This came out a year or so ago. It was advertised as Indiana Jones meets Sleeping Beauty and make it sapphic. So we follow a treasure hunter, a warrior, and then our Briar Rose is a prince who is cursed and has to be kissed in order to break the curse. I'm really excited. I love a good Sleeping Beauty retelling, and not all of them are great. I'm intrigued that this is three people opposed to just prince, princess, rescuer, rescuee kind of thing. Very intrigued as to how this is gonna go. Up next, I have All These Bodies by Kendare Blake. Kendare Blake is one of my favorite YA authors. I loved her Three Dark Crowns series and a Dressed in Blood book, and this is one of her newer books. This is a YA thriller mystery following a girl in the 1950s. She just wakes up surrounded by 16 bodies with vaguely no memories. So we're following her trying to recount her steps and figure out what happened, as well as the sheriff's son, who is very skeptical of Marie and tries to piece together as to why she's just in the middle of this entire massacre. I'm really intrigued. I love Kendare Blake's writing. It is dark, it is gritty, she is filled with twists and turns, and I'm ready for that with this book. Next, I have Burn Our Bodies Down by Rory Power. Now, I DNF'd the first Rory Power book that I had, but I had these both at the same time. I know this one is vastly different from the other book, which was Wilder Girls. This follows a young girl. It has been just her and her mother her entire life, and her mother refuses to answer any questions. But when the main character finds a secret, she ends up going to her mother's hometown and realizes why her mother kept a lot of things secret. Sounds like a fun mystery, maybe with some supernatural elements. I'm intrigued. I've also heard that this is a very feminist book, so I'm intrigued to see what kind of angle the author took with that. Up next, I have Into the Pit by Scott Cawthon and Elley Cooper. This is the first book in a string of short stories surrounded by Five Nights at Freddy's, which is one of my favorite video games. I'm not good at it, but I love the story and the lore behind it, so I have finally decided to pick up the book series. I do have the other series somewhere. I haven't read it yet. I'm slowly collecting them, but I found this one for sale and I caved. I'm really excited to dive into this. I've heard they're wild. Up next, I have My Contrary Mary by I guess they're technically the Lady Janies, but is there the Lady Marys now? I don't really know. These are the same authors who had the My Plain Jane and those series. I didn't care for the third book in the Janies, but this one follows Mary Queen of Scots. This is an alternate history retelling. So we're following Mary, and Francis during their period of time while they were married. I have a thing for Tudor history, so I'm really excited. It's why I loved the Jane Grey version of their prior series, so I'm hoping that I like this one just as much. Next, I have Seven Faceless Saints by N.K. Lobb. This is my fairy loot for March that I actually just got. It's very pretty. It's also very tiny, like it's the size of my hand. This is a dark murder mystery following a country that is overlooked by the Seven Faceless Saints, and when a deputy ends up getting killed, a captain and a girl trying to get out from under the thumb of the Seven Faceless Saints have to team up to try and figure out what has happened. I'm really excited. I've heard really good things, and I just really like the art. It's creepy and looming. Next, I have A Cruel and Fated Light by Ashley Shuttleworth. This is the second book in the Dark and Hollow Star. I really liked book one. And it took me forever to find a copy of book two. I looked everywhere. It wasn't at half price, wasn't at Barnes. I didn't want to just order it off of Amazon. I ended up getting it off of Book Outlet. So really excited to finally have my hands on this. It's a monster of a book, but I'm really excited. This is a fun urban fantasy story in a modern world, but with Valkyries, with Fae, with wolf shifters, just all manners of things, and all things are going wrong. Things are going awful, and so many things are happening at once. I'm really excited. From what I understand, we're following two different perspectives in this book. So really pumped to see how that ends up. Plus with book three dropping later this year, I'm really pumped to jump right back into this series. Next, I have another reread that I'm doing, and that is Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. This is the third book in the Throne of Glass series and the fourth book in my readathon. So last month I ended up reading Assassin's Blade. Now it's Heir of Fire, which is weird because I never read Assassin's Blade until after Heir of Fire. So doing it in publication day is a little weird, but it's been very interesting thus far. Plus, from what I understand, this book is where we actually start to get all of the hints to her other books and other connections. So I'm really excited to see if I can start to find those. Up next, I have one of my book of the months from last month, and that is The London Seance Society by Sarah Penner. I really like Sarah Penner. She's the author of The Lost Apothecary, which I really, really liked. This follows two women in the 1870s. One is a medium, the other is trying to find answers about her dead sister, but then the medium is called to help solve a murder in London, and they both go trying to both look for answers as well as trying to figure out what the heck's going on in London. This sounds very Sherlock Holmes, but make it female, and I just really liked Sarah Penner's writing style. It was really fluid and really atmospheric, so I'm pumped to see her next work. And that is my TBR for April. I'm really excited. I have a lot of ebooks set up as well in anticipation for Apollycon, since most of the authors are on Kindle Unlimited. So I'll be reading those throughout the month as well. I usually don't put my Kindle TBR because Kindle is the one spot where I don't have an official TBR. I just pick on a whim. And that's how I'm able to stick to these TBRs, is I get that satisfaction on my Kindle. But I can tell you right now, I am reading A Gargoyle's Captive by Katie Robert. I don't know what it is, but I almost always start off my month with one of her books on my Kindle. I don't know why, but they are just such the perfect palette cleanser. I love them. They're short, they're fun, and this monster series is just a fun time. I'm like 100 pages into it and I love it already. Well, I'm like 100 pages into it and I'm well over 60% into it and I love it. They're just all super fun. I can't wait to meet Katie Robert, and I'd love to just sit and see how her mind works with how these books are. It's just, it must be wild in there. But that's going to be it for this month and for this video. So please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We post every Wednesday, Friday, with the occasional Sunday, and I'll see you guys in our next video. Bye!